You don't mean I haven't been live all that time? Oh, well. So you all could see me, but not hear. Well, I'm not sure how that would work. Not sure how that would work. Anyway, we're live now, so now we're actually 6 more minutes later. Um, and I will drop the link in there again for Bree. Yeah, it's not uncommon for me to make a mistake, so. Yazzie must still be getting his happy face on. No, Yazzie did distract me a minute ago with Tibby, Sergeant Tibbs. He ran after Tibbs and Tibbs got him. So I appreciate it, Terry. I appreciate it, Terry. I don't know what you guys could see or hear or anything, so. And I'm sure no one's going to tell me that. They're just going to let me wonder. So, hey, Alex. Hey, all. Hey, Gina. Welcome. Well, yes or no. We see and hear you now, but you could not before just a minute ago. Is that correct? Hey, Kenny. Is that correct? It's just a yes or no question, guys. And I think Bree's back there, but I want to figure out where I'm at before I see who's there. I had refreshed to get the stream up. Yes, thank you, Sandy. So you are only just now hearing what I'm saying. You haven't heard the last 5 minutes. Awesome. That is awesome. Hey, Bree.
Hi.
Hey there. Hey there. Forgot to hit go live, obviously, and didn't know it for a few minutes. So sorry about that. Haven't done that in a couple of years. I hope all of my old mistakes are not coming back around. But how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. She's been streaming for a couple of hours this evening, so um, she's probably glad to get a little bit of break between. So, but I was over at her stream. I was saying when no one could hear me, I was saying that I was over there and having a good time and enjoying the stream and really not wanting to come over and leave. So I said, "Hey, why don't you come over if you want to? I don't have a guest. I usually don't on Wednesday." And so she agreed. So here she is to co-host. So thank you. Appreciate it. Um, and all I had talked about was that I got my Placostomus, the L236s today in the mail from Stephanie in Huntington Beach, California. They were overnighted, and I was talking to her last night when she was shipping them, and they were here just before 10 this morning. So cool that airmail UPS. And I put them to the tank. They're in the 33 long here on my desk. I have this tank and 40 breeder ready in my bedroom with same parameters for them, and have been working on the two tanks to keep them at those parameters the last month or so. But this one I see more, so I just decided to put them in here. And I'm going to get a second group from her in a couple of months if all goes well, and I'm sure it will. And put in the other tank maybe. We'll see. So that they're not all in one tank should something go wrong. So I thought I had said hello to people, Bree, but I didn't because they couldn't hear me. Um, so I'm going to go back through and just mention the people again. Gina French has sent a super sticker for $5. Thank you, Gina. And you know that goes to the ARC. There's Pam, there's Kenny, there's Eric, there's Merdul, there's Bobbert, there's John McKenzie, Brian at Peplin Creek, James Spiritfish, Patrick Hardy, Chubbs, hey John, Rob 93 actually comes on after we stopped at 7, and we'll need to come up with another hashtag for his channel and do a little raid over there. I see Merdul posted the vid, so yeah, there that is. It's a long one. It's like 7 minutes, and it's rambly like all of mine are. So, Daniel Velez, hello. Let's see. Same people. My fish tanks, hello. Pose, hello. Tank Top Tropics, hello. Ricky, RB Animals and Collectibles, RAY Aquatics, Jan at JDR Aquatics, Florida Fish Rescue, Mike, Eric again, Maria Z. Must be getting close to the top here. Alright, that's as far as it lets me go. So, I didn't get anybody in that second time. Welcome and good to see you, and sorry that I couldn't shout you out. A lot of these peoples are members, and some are mods, so welcome to everybody. So, Bree, you were talking about expanding your fish room, but at the end, your dad, Dave, was on, and he was working in the basement to set up more, what's the word I'm wanting, congregated or something like that, fish room in one area for better control and all that. And but you said you don't have any tanks down there. They're all other family members.
What was the question?
You don't have any tanks down there. They're everybody else's tanks in the basement.
I don't have any tanks down there yet. I might be getting one down there that I can do something with. It'll probably be guppies because I have like 200 guppies that breed.
Yeah.
So they'll probably be like guppy babies. But right now there's 10 tanks down there, and they're all like my mother's and my father's. And then there's more tanks outside to go down there, and more tanks to come as we find them. And will probably be mainly my parents. But if they ever want help cleaning them, I'd always be willing to help.
Right. Right. That's exciting. How many did you say are down there, or did you say how many are down there now? How many tanks?
There's 10 down there now, and they have water in them. Those are the 8 that have water bridges and the 275s. But we have 2 40 breeders, a 36-gallon bow front, a 30-gallon, and 2 20-gallon highs, I think they are highs, to go down there right now. And there'll probably be more. There probably will be more. Maybe another 40 breeder. I think my father was looking into doing a rack of 3 40 breeders, 6 20 highs or 20 lows, whichever was 20 highs. I think they want to do a rack of 3 on each side of the 75s, and then maybe 5.5s behind the door for like beta breeding or something. And then we're going to have 2 of the 20 gallons are going to be quarantine/treatment tanks in case we have sick fish. We're going to be like treating them in those tanks, or if we're getting new fish or new plants, we'll be quarantining those in those tanks. And none of them are going to be saltwater. They're all going to be freshwater.
Oh, that was my next question.
Yeah, last time we had a 20-gallon high saltwater quarantine tank. We only used it for a couple corals, and like the day after we put them in our tanks because there's nothing wrong with them. So we decided we weren't going to quarantine our saltwater fish or our corals or anything like that because we're not getting many more saltwater fish. Our tanks are pretty much fully stocked, and we don't expand saltwater as much as we do freshwater.
Right.
Because it's a bit more work just because you have to mix up the salt water and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have pretty good fresh water from our well, so we can pretty much just draw it off and put it right in the tank. So it's a bit easier for fresh water, and we can hook up a whole, auto water change system.
Right.
Well, not exactly fully auto. I think my father's looking into doing a RV pump to pump it out of the tanks outside or something like that, and then I think he's going to hook a little system to the well to refill the tanks. So
It's a lot of tanks. I lost count.
yeah.
Or it will be a lot of tanks. I hadn't seen the water bridges until today. Got a little shot of them. Is there a video out about those on your channel?
Not on my channel, but there is one on my mother's channel and my father's channel.
Okay.
Sandy Farrell and Dave Farrell, that's their names.
Right.
And when you search up Sandy Farrell, I'm pretty sure it comes up. And if you search up Dave Farrell, I don't know if it comes up. You'll probably have to, like, maybe somebody will link it or something.
I think some of the mods is probably already looking for it, or all of them are looking for it. Let's see, a couple other people came in. There's Chattanooga Ed, there's Lori, Monster Fish Gal, Jeffrey Watts, hey Jeffrey, Chalupa, No Tomatoes. It was well done, wasn't it? He linked said hello to everybody. I think that's all that came in. If there's anybody else, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that was everybody. Alan Matthews, we'd already said hi to. Okay, sorry. Just want to try to say hello. I have that same situation. I've got 1, 2, 3 saltwater tanks, and I had 4 and 1 quarantine, but I realized the same thing you did, just not as soon as you did, that a quarantine tank was kind of wasted. It's easier just to set it up, as you need it. Just set a 10-gallon up, and throw the salt, mix the water, and put it in there. Doesn't take but a minute, to do it, or a couple minutes. So I stopped maintaining that, and then I had a 10-gallon that I like to keep, just like junk corals and things like that, and bristle worms, just creepy crawly stuff that I didn't want in my regular tanks with the fish and the coral. So Pam's got your mom's channel there. So, and guys, if you're not subscribed to Brienne, you need to go over and check out her channel.
Furlough asked if he could come up, or is it just like a 2-person show?
If you want to come up, you can, Furlough. He's on our panel on Sunday night. He's a backup, so I don't really consider you like a guest. You're part of the stream. So, yeah, is the link still out there? Do you need me to drop it in the chat? It may be gone already. Just let me know if I need to drop it again. It's probably too far gone.
Yeah, with our quarantine tank, we turned it into an actual tank. I know on my saltwater Q&A stream, I set up the 20-gallon high. We had drained it, and then I was putting sand in it and rocks, and then filling it, and then we stocked it with a bonded pair of clownfish and then a pair of saltwater mollies. So
Bobby's saying that he thinks I have a leak behind me. So I'm not going to turn around and look. Definitely hear a drip from Bob's room. You guys are so funny. I would hear it first before any of you guys noticed it for sure. It made me forget my next. I had another question just right on the tip of my tongue. I know what I was going to, or it's kind of just an observation. It seems like everybody in the family, your mom, your dad, your sister, everybody's involved with your hobby. And that's probably been brought up before. I'm sure it has. But how did it start with you guys? I mean, did you decide to? I know you had the salt water because you and I talked about that maybe a year ago, almost. I don't know, a while back. And you were converting fresh water, I think, to salt. I think that's what you were doing. And then now, here all of a sudden, you're on YouTube, and it's a whole family thing. So did they just get interested and get involved, or what happened?
So quite a while back, I'm pretty sure I told this story on Fishy Business Stream, so I'm just gonna kind of recite it. Um, Quite a while back, we had a 55-gallon freshwater community, so we were kind of all interested in fish keeping, but it was when I was really young, so I don't remember much about the tank. Like bits and pieces, I remember when we go to like the fish store, and my mother is like, "Oh, we had that in the tank years ago," and everything. And I don't know why we took the tank down, but it came down and we got rid of it. And we still had a couple decorations for fish tanks, like little hideouts and stuff. So we still had a couple decorations for fish tanks, and we probably had like fish bowls in between then. But last year, February 2020, I decided that I wanted to get a fish tank after we watched the show Tanked. And I decided that all these fish are so cool that I should have one of my own. And I wanted a saltwater tank. I want to start off with saltwater. But I was told not to. And so I started off with freshwater. And I had like platies and stuff. But when I wanted to get a tank, because I was planning on paying for it myself, but when I wanted a tank, then my sister and my mother wanted a tank. So we each got our own 10-gallon tank.
I see.
And I guess we all got into the hobby the same time last year, and my sister isn't fully into the hobby, so to speak. She has a tank. She has that one tank that she got, but she would rather downsize to 0 tanks than upsize to 100 tanks, like me and my parents. And after we got those 3 10-gallon tanks, we got 2 1.5-gallon tanks that we were using as quarantine tanks, which weren't very large.
Right.
And I know one time we got like 6 fish, and we put them in a 1.5-gallon tank to quarantine, and we quarantined them for 1 day, and then we put them in our tanks, which was pretty useless and wasn't the best idea.
Right.
But after we got those 2 1.5 gallons, my mother was like, "We're not getting any more tanks. Like, that's it. No more tanks. We have 5 tanks. That's plenty tanks." And then I got a saltwater tank because I wanted to get saltwater, because that was what my first vision of fish keeping was, saltwater, like all those pretty fish that you see. And after that, my father wanted to get into saltwater. And then they wanted to get a 75-gallon. And then we just kept piling tanks in the house. I mean, like, we kind of look on Facebook Marketplace and find fish tanks, like 5 gallons, 65 gallons, things like that. So, yeah, we kind of just kept piling tanks in here. So we're all into the hobby. We just slowly get more tanks. We all have fish tanks, but my sister, I would say, is the least out of the hobby, like at the last strand of being in the hobby. She's more into her hamsters and her cats and gaming, video games and things like that.
Oh, okay.
So she is more on the other spectrum of fish keeping. And me, my father, and my mother, we're kind of all in for fish keeping. I mean, we're starting to open like an online store for fish keeping and everything. So we're slowly expanding while my sister wants to downsize.
Are you going to have? You did tell this last night. Sorry for the squeaky chair. You did talk about this last night, but I was modding. I still am a moderator on a lot of channels, too many really. But I still was on Biz, and I knew you were going to be on there, so I came on to be there. So I was modding and couldn't hear everything and every answer. So I'm glad I asked you, because I did miss part of that before, and a lot of these people weren't there. So now we all know. So thank you for repeating it. I'm going to turn this camera around if that's okay with you, because I'm dying to show my new Plecostomus in their tank. And one of them has broke cover. It's came out of hiding. It's one of the small ones. Do you mind me talking but not having the camera on me?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. It'll be a picture, I promise you. So let's get it turned around here. More.
Florida Fish Rescue is watching Bob's stream on their stream.
Oh, is he? Yeah. He might.
How much longer are you going, Florida Fish Rescue?
He's been going a while. He had Okay. And this tank is one of my algae tragedies. Not, I don't mind algae at all. I know how to, what I want to do with it and all that. So I'm fine with the way the tank looks. It's not the prettiest tank you'll find, but right back there is one of them, kind of against the back, right in the center. And these are the L236s. And they still haven't colored it completely, but they are beautiful fish. They're not the zebra plecos. I'm going to do a video about them alone and talk about some of the information I've researched and some that the breeder also gave me. And people that breed these have their lineage just like any purebred animal. She told me where they started. She got them from Rachel O'Leary, and Rachel got them from other famous, more famous than her in the breeding community. And then they came from somebody, Eric Bodrock was in that chain. So there were like 5 or 6 people that had them originally from the wild. So anyway, I just wanted to show him real quick, and I'll leave it turned around if that's okay. Let's see my
Yeah.
messy desk. Uh, Trying to think what else I might want to ask you now that well, you're co-host and you're not really a guest, and I'm treating you like a guest. So if you want to answer questions and take charge and that kind of thing, that is fine. And in fact, I prefer that rather than you just waiting on me to say something or ask something. So I'm sure you have lots of friends. There's Andy's fish room. Sorry, it's hard to say.
Andy's Fish Room said, hey, major problem. I've rescaped my tank using soil but didn't cap the soil. Now it's floating and the tank's black. What can I do to solve the problem? I'm filling and emptying and repeating. Thanks.
If there are, I'm filling and emptying and repeating. Um, but have you capped it? I would drain it, even if there are fish in there. I'd take them out because they won't do well in mud for long, depending on what they are. I would drain the tank and cap it, even though it might be muddy to cap it. I would just still go ahead and cap it with a good cap of whatever you're going to use, sand most likely, and fill it back up. That would be the easiest.
Yeah, Mariddle said, yikes, best thing you can do is remove fish, drain, and start over, and cap this time around. Dirt loves to mix with water. And then Maria Z said, try asking Father Fish.
I bet he's going to say the same thing that Merdul said. I mean, there's not much you can do. I mean, as long as there's circulation, the mud's going to. You might try not having any circulation and just letting it sit for a couple of days to see how much it will settle out and trying to cap it. But I bet it's as soon as you start pouring sand on that, it's going to stir it back up. So it'd be a lot quicker to drain it. Chalupa, love my tanks. Thank you. Well, this one's not a good example, but it's going to be a great tank for these Plecostomus. There, that little guy came back out. I want the big one to come out. It's one that's probably a male that's bigger than that one. I think that's the smallest. Do you have any Plecostomus, Brienne?
We have 2 chocolate bristlenose plecos and then a common plecostomus.
Oh, wow. I love the little bristle nose, and I breed those, and I usually just give them away if I can ever catch up with Griffin. I've got some for him. Oh, it moved again.
Do you breed plecos?
Yeah, I kind of had a a really deep fascination for plecos for a while, and so I have a lot of plecos. I don't usually show much of them, and I have the same problem with corridors, and I have lots of corys. So, yeah. Right now, the only thing I'm breeding are the bristlenose, and I'm trying to breed some reds, super reds. But I'm also
Do you ever,
looking.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Do you have any plecos or quarry cats for sale?
I don't have any on Get Gills, but the only thing I would part with right now is my. That's the other problem is I don't ever want to let any of them go. So I keep adding more tanks, like you were talking about in your stream. Not sure if that's the same one or the medium-sized one, but if you want some of the little bristle nose, I'll be glad to send you some.
What kind of bristlenose plecos do you have?
Just the regular. Well, actually, these have. I think they're a hybrid, and I think they have. Oh man, I forget things a lot, so I can recall things. Clown. I think they have clown pleco in them, like a quarter. One of their parents is a hybrid, and I think it was with a clown pleco. So the pair that these are breeding from are just prolific every month. Literally, I have new little bitty babies, and I have them in with my Santa Maria Endlers that I also won't part with. But yeah, if you're interested in them, they'll breed with your chocolates if you want them to, or if you don't want them to, or you can keep them separate. They don't bother anything. They stay small.
Kent's fish said, "What's the fish behind you?" In this tank, the large tank, there's discus. There's two Santarum discus and then two checkerboard discus. They're all four of them are 3 inches big, and they came from Discus Ponds, and they were donated by Petroman 1185.
Yeah, Chubb's adding some advice there. Give some advice too about draining the tank. Use a cup to get out as much water as you can. Yep, for sure. Petro Man said the
Yep.
thing, get the water out and cap it. Oh, we can't get enough water out to restart. You may have to dig the dirt out of a corner and maybe tilt the tank up a little bit. Not much. You don't want to stress it. And get the water to run to that corner and drain. I've done that with gravel a lot. I don't know how to work with dirt.
Chen Nougat Ed said, "Brianna and Bob, if you guys could add one new fish to your fish hobby, what would it be?"
You go first.
That's a very difficult question.
Hard to narrow it down.
Yeah, I have three I would want to add. That would be mud skippers, an arowana, and then an Oscar. I think I would narrow it down to an Oscar. It'd be an Oscar. If I could have one more fish, it would be like an Oscar, but I don't know what type. It would either be like an albino tiger Oscar or like a tiger Oscar, one or the other. But I really wanted an albino tiger Oscar for a while, but I don't have a large enough tank, and I can't get my father to get one.
Well, just stay on the look. Never know. It sounds like they're easily convinced, or that they're so much into it themselves. That's my platies that I brag on all the time. And I got those at Ponds and Plants. I've had so many compliments from people that really know live bears about them, so I was real excited, and they were dirt cheap too. I wish I'd got all of them, but I only got like. All right. I saw another comment or question. Papa said mud skippers I wouldn't replace for anything. And I may be wrong, I usually am, but I don't think mud skippers are true fish. I think they fall into some obscure cat, but I know what you meant. If you could get something else, it would be one of them. So, but I don't think they're true fish. They have a weird category because there was a discussion about that one night, and several of us looked it up. There's Chewy. Hey, Chewy.
Yeah, I think they're cute. I know they require like moist air or something. We have pretty dry air in our house, so I don't think mud skippers would work out. Arowanas, the only reason I wouldn't go with an arowana is because I feel like they would jump out of the tank. And the reason I go with an Oscar is they have like googly eyes, as John KG Tropicals calls it. Oh. And I think they're cute. I would just want multiple. I wouldn't want a whole like 75-gallon tank for one
Right.
Oscar or something. I don't know how big of a tank they need, but
Well, people are like that about everything else. And what really, I intend to do a video, and I mention it from time to time, hoping somebody else will do the research and do one, because I keep putting it on the back burner because I don't want to get into it. But when you look at some of these recommended tank sizes, like when you're looking up a certain fish and it recommends this size, that size, a lot of those things are copied. If you really look at what you're reading, they're copied site to site to site. And I want to know who did that original research to determine and what that formula is. No one's ever been able to tell me. It's even about biologists probably could. What that formula is. How do you determine? I don't mean something like the inch per gallon and all that, which doesn't work for most fish anyway. But I mean, what really tells you that a puffer needs a 300-gallon tank? Um, you know, I just really like to know where those numbers come from and what they're predicated on. There must be some pretty dicey formulas that comes up with that. If not, they're just opinions then. Hey, Carlos, World Fish Aquatics. Maria posted a link there. Welcome. Good to see you. But if you don't know, then all you have to go by is what you read from what you hope is a reputable source, or they've copied it from a reputable source. You have to go by that. So I used to have two Oscars a long time ago in Florida, and I kept them in a 55. And I didn't have them long enough for them to get too big for it. I mean, they were big as my hand or bigger, but they did fine in there with a lot of filtration and clean water. The Planted Tank. Thank you, Planted Tank. $20 super chat. That's awesome. And I donate my any funds that get donated to me. I donate to the ARC, the shelter that I volunteer at. So thank you. I need 5 more tanks. Wow. I actually was able to wrestle a 75 inside. I think I said earlier it was the 125 that I haven't got inside yet, but I got a 75 inside for my garage, and it's staying today. My hot water heater went out over the weekend, and they had to get in there to that, so I had to move it anyway. So I've got that to set up to 975, and then I have a rack with 910s to get set up somewhere. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Mike's Aquatics and things. And he's a member already here. So thank you. Thank you, Planted Tank. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, we well, I won't give a tutorial on the art. I'm sure somebody will post a link to it. But yeah, I volunteer there, and we own our own building, and we're all volunteers. And I'm actually the shelter director, but I also get to be a lead volunteer. I get to do all the regular stuff a couple of days a week, and what else? President of the board. So I get to see it from one end to the other. So I love it there. There's posting the link. Alright. Did you say you have another stream that you're on today or tonight, Brianne?
Me?
Yes.
Another stream that I'm on?
Yeah, I was thinking you said you had another stream later tonight. I might have misunderstood that before I left yours.
No, but if Mike is going, I don't know if Mike's still going, but if Mike's going after you end your stream, I might hop on there if I have time. But no, I don't have any planned streams for the next few days, unless anybody else wants to go on their stream.
Maybe Mike will tell us there. Yeah, Mike's an awesome guy. I used to fuss at him for not doing videos and not streaming and stuff, and I think it helped a little bit.
Yeah.
He does now. They're trying to get Merdul to 200, so everybody check out Merdul. The link's there. Maria posted it. So, who else are we trying to get to a goal right now? I know Calypso's tanks. He's saltwater, but he comes in a lot of our streams, and he's very close, like 30 away from 1K. Who else do you shout out for subscribers?
Monster Fish Gal, maybe?
Lori, yeah. Um, there are people that need watch time also.
Aqua Balls to 1K. How many Aqua Balls at?
He's already at 1K. Oh, Aqua Balls. I misunderstood. Yeah. I don't know what George is at, but he certainly should be at 1K. He really should.
Yeah, Aqua Balls is at 764. Well, 765 now.
Hey, Stephanie. Thank you. She's another member. And Mike, I said, is a member. Are you going to stream later, Mike? We'll just watch out for you to see if we get a notification if you're not sure. The baby rainbow gave you is doing well and growing. Really, I gave DC Aqua some plants, just some water like this stuff, water wisteria, and always like Dan's fish. It's real easy to grow, and I have other plants, but that's really good stuff just to throw in and fill and or to let float. And I gave him some plants out of my rainbow tanks in the other room, and told him that there might be some eggs on them, and if it was, it would be rainbow. And sure enough, he found one baby fish. There may have been more too, and they may have gotten him, or you're just seeing one of them. So that's good to know. You have to name him Rainbow or something if he survives. I have about given up on seeing these Lepostomus anymore. I really wanted to be on there, but you know, it's just not happening. Not happening. I've got to replace or add to their little caves over there. They like the pinched lip. Do you have caves for yours, Brian?
My plecos?
Yeah.
The chocolate bristlenose do not have a cave. They have like wood and some other things. They're in a baby Moscow butterfly guppy tank.
Right.
Along with some shrimp. And then our common Plecostomus has a cave. It's not a pleco cave. It's just like a log of wood.
I have a couple, or actually several of those that I got from Jesse, JN Aquatics, Sandy's buddy up there in Canada, and he sells them online, and he makes them by hand. And sometimes it depends on which one you get. They're attached to a piece of slate to hold them down. And he also makes the slate ones that are multiple units, and I've got all kinds of them. I've got some from the plecocave.com, I think is a place that most of mine came from. And I've got them from Greg Sage. So lots of them. Too many plecos, like I said. There's another super chat, I think. Digimon, thank you. Super sticker. I can't see what the sticker is, though. I'm on StreamYard and scared to go over to YouTube, pushing the buttons. I'll go back and see what it is later. Ricky's leaving. See you later, Ricky.
Bye, RB.
He's got to run. I hope your lungs are, your ribs, not your lungs, are better today. I know he was pretty stoked up. Just reading some of the comments. Maria said we have 10 minutes, but that was a minute or so ago. I forgot to look at the clock. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
There's 8 more minutes till Rob93 goes live.
8 more. Yep.
Yep, you'll have to start thinking of a hashtag.
Hashtag. I like him to know we came over. This stream is so laid back. Try to keep it laid back. It's not like I'm going to get up and shout and dance or something. But then his stream is so up, so much energy. Have you been to his stream before?
Rob93?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. He never sits down. I tried doing that a couple of times and kind of parodied him even, and I couldn't keep it up very long. So he's a high energy stream. I love it. So.
Yep.
Let's see. Greg the Guppy guy said hashtag Bob's Bunch. And Maria said hashtag Codfather.
Marianne said hashtag Brienne co-host.
That's a good one, yeah.
Mariddle said hashtag Codfather too.
If we tried to do Brienne and Codfather, they'd say it's too much to type. How about co-host Bree? Because a lot of people, you don't mind being called Bree, do you? I never ask you that. Or do you?
No, I don't mind.
People do, especially Jess, so I just pick it up. So Steph's saying Codfather. Well, he knows where we're coming from. They all know, because we usually do that. So let's do Bree this time. Bree Cod. I don't know about that. That sounds like a disease or something. A fish disease.
Yeah.
Let's just do co-host Bree. Yeah, everybody calls her Bree Sandy. Okay, good. It just occurred to me. I never really asked. I just jumped in there and started using it. So sometimes people like Bobby are picky about their name. I mean Robert, picky about all that. So.
Said hashtag Bree.
Hashtag what?
Yeah, so did Sandy.
Hashtag Bree.
Yeah.
That's easier than co-host, and it doesn't matter that we put co-host.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Bree's easier to type.
It is.
Do whichever one.
Yeah, do Bree or co-host Bree.
Or hashtag something Bree.
Yeah. And because I went live late, didn't realize I wasn't live, I'm only showing about 44 minutes, but it's time is almost up. So, but we have 46 people here. That's great. That's more than I usually have. I usually average 35 or 40 on a Wednesday, which is awesome for me. I mean, this is the time people are driving home, about to get off work, or they just got off work, or they're home and getting the kids together or picking them up, starting dinner, that kind of stuff. It's a transition period for the day, so it's just kind of background noise, I think, for most people this time of the day, which is fine. That's fine. Brienne's fish fam. Laughs. Merdul. What did Merdul say now?
Merdul said, remember it's Bree, not Bree with the E on the end. Autocorrect change it to Bree with the E on the end for those who have it turned on.
Yeah, you're not cheese, are you? I remember when brie cheese was so popular, like back in the 80s or 90s, and that was the thing everybody did when you went to visit. They melted their brie cheese in the microwave. I never liked it. All right.
50 people watching and 61 likes.
Huh. That's pretty cool. Am I breeding any rainbows? I'm not intentionally, but they spawn constantly, you know. And I have that room of just rainbows, rarer and harder to get rainbows from Dan's Fish. Damn it, Bobby. No, let's not do that one. That's a good one, though, sometime. So, no, I'm not breeding any. Everyone get that like button, Pam said. Ed said he's almost home. Ed must have been out and about today, apparently. All right. Great stream, you guys. Your mom saying. Hey, John Oliver. Welcome. We're just about to go over to Rob 93. And my clock is correct. We only have a couple minutes till he goes live. So we will head on over there and we'll do hashtag Bree or hashtag co-host Bree. Depends on what you'd like to type. And Bree, anything you'd like to say? You've been awful quiet. You're worn out.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Mods, members, lurkers, everybody who super chatted, thanks for coming. And go check out everybody in chat and hit the like button if you haven't already.
Awesome. Thank you. You heard what she said. Thank you, Bree. I'll probably see you over at Rob 93's.
All right. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.